Hello, my name is Charlene Yuen-Jung. It's January 14th, 2024, and I'm here with Charlene Debrule. So, Charlene, before we get started with the interview, can you share um, where you live and what you do for a living?
Thank you. Most definitely would love to share. I formerly was living in Vancouver area and moved to Edmonton, Alberta at the beginning of January 2021. And I am a music therapist and I am a music instructor and yeah, and a choral director. So my life's been all around music. I've been actually calculating how long I've been teaching music and it's been 50 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Mhm.
amazing. And
Yeah, and it's been the most rewarding job. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to be that long in some professions that I started with when I was younger. So this has been a very rewarding job.
oh, lovely. I personally love music, and I know how um, it resonates with you and it resonates with the people around you, and it's a pure it's total generosity, creation and generosity. So it's so
Mm.
wonderful to hear that you've had that in your life for 50 years. Charlene, can you tell me what spirituality means to you and what it is for you?
Spirituality to me is more than religion. It's really, to me, the depths of the universe that is hidden from most of us. It's the understanding of nature and human beings working together, synthesizing together. A bigger um, wholeness to it, I guess. It's connecting to that wholeness, discovering it, allowing it to
Mm.
be. Yeah.
And did you always have that sense of a larger connection, or, was there a point where you didn't have it and you were drawn to something and then you went to discover it? Like, what did you like? Did you have a life before spirituality?
Always as a child, I really enjoyed being in touch of nature around me. And I was probably the biggest collector of insects and having pets come into the house that my mom um, greatly appreciated my creative joy. I was very fortunate to have teachers in the community that I grew up with that had brought things into the classroom. So I was connected in that way. As far as family, I evolved in a family of individuals being Catholic on my father's side, and my mother's side was being in touch with just the planet, nature. They didn't have any set religious structure in their house. So she was kind of like a, it was a very big awakening to me seeing the division between my mom and my dad because her whole life she was bombarded by that particular faith and trying to live up to that faith and trying to mold into that faith. And as I grew, my mom knew I had a gift and talent in music, and so she allowed me to explore that. Thank her heart so much that she did. And I got to see the world of music and the generosity that you talked about earlier, and how that was always prevalent in my life. And as I grew and developed in music, I was able to start sharing my gifts and talents in various churches throughout the community. So
Mm.
I was exposed to Anglican faith, United Church faith, the Jehovah Witness faith, Lutheran faith, and specifically the Catholic faith, even though my father didn't take us to the actual services, but we'd go to weddings that were at the Catholic Church and we'd go to funerals at the Catholic Church. So I got exposed that way. As I grew up in my adulthood years and got married, my first husband was Catholic, and I grew with him in that spiritual religious environment. And I actually played for several years as an accompanist in many churches, not just the Catholic Church, when I grew up with my husband in that relationship. If that makes sense. I was doing all kinds of denominations pretty well all my entire life.
Mm.
but I focused on my husband's faith, and I did a lot of work in with all the Sunday services and weddings and funerals.
Yeah.
So, and then I got, you know, used to the fact that the world was never getting along. They in that whole spirituality understanding, it was more like people were so into their own religion that this one doesn't get acknowledged and this one isn't getting acknowledged, and there was never this harmony,
Mm.
right? And so I decided I wanted to do a career in music therapy, and that's when I started at a late age of 37, discovering music was a part of all of those different spiritualities or religions, I guess you're going to say. I shouldn't call them spiritualities, but religion, people looking for spirituality, I guess, and experiencing their own spirituality through religion. Yeah, so the whole thing about going to music therapy opened me up even more because I wanted to become oneness and not so divided and spend so much time learning about this church or that church and trying to mold into it each time I was asked to do contracts as a musician. I
Mm.
wanted to focus on I wanted to focus on the soul within, my own gift that I was connected to with a higher power.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, music therapy let me do that. And then I discovered Sukyo Mahikari when I lived in Vancouver at the time, and I have been so happy, beyond being in the Sukyo Mahikari was not a religion. It was helping me understand that person, that physical person, that soul that I have, and it was helping me understand that, oh, there's a there's a oneness here that I can share with everybody without having to feel, uh, I don't know, controlled, that I had to mold into
Yeah.
a certain denomination. I have blossomed in the 18 years that I've been in the Sukyo Mahikari.
Wow.
The universal principles and laws that I have learned that um, a higher power wants us all to know has been exposed to me, and I wish it could be exposed to everyone. Yeah.
And one of the things that came to mind when you were talking is like, as a music teacher, harmony is so it is the thing in music. When things are in harmony, that's when the music actually comes alive. What I heard was like, with all of the I actually can't believe you were exposed to so many different religions. I just didn't know that about you. And all of them, they were all speaking about the same God per se, but they were so disharmonized, and that you found something that, brought harmony to your being, to your soul, and that's when you started to blossom. So, so wonderful to hear that.
Thank you. And as my journey was evolving with Sukyo Mahikari, I was also still continuously studying, music therapy and going beyond and doing psychoanalytical music therapy and meeting. Our teacher was or our professor in that particular guided imagery profession was Buddhist.
Mm.
And so I got to be exposed to Buddhism as well, which was something that I never ever knew about until I moved to Vancouver. So it was great to see that Eastern model of spirituality, and then I got to meet friends who they're in the Taoism as well in Vancouver, and
Mm.
so like you said, I have come through um, so many different avenues of my growth in spirituality, and I actually have so many friends that do also the Reiki, that I understand that as being also connected spiritually, and it's beautiful, So being able to be acknowledged like you just acknowledged me, thank you. It's a richness, and I
Mm.
just feel very focused now. I concentrate on the divine principles that I am learning and the teachings that I'm learning from the founder of Sukyo Mahikari. So I really appreciate um, the high divine science that it is. I
Right.
don't call it religion, I call it high divine science.
And it's almost like a way of living, would that be a true statement or
It's
yeah.
every time I can possibly reflect, I have great joy of gratitude, sincere heart that everything that I have received in my day is coming from God. It's not my making, it's coming from God. My clothes, my food, my home, the people
Mm,
that come to me, the people that I can help, everything is that's a extraordinary way to live.
yeah.
When even when the times are difficult, and I've had many, many ups and downs, but the downs are significantly a lot easier to handle and deal with, and I have more perseverance. I have more um, energy to work through everything. I know it's come to me because God's asked me to help in this area. So I have so much thanks for every step of my life that I've gone through.
And it sounds like you have a very personal relationship with God or the divine. What difference has that made for you?
Harmony in myself, oneself first, oneness, harmony in my relationship with my husband, harmony with my family. They're going through lots of ups and downs, and I'm there as a pillar
Mm,
for them. Yeah, I think there's so much more love than I've ever experienced before. That's what it is. It's There's so much love, so much love in my family and people around me.
what's that like? And what does that
Brings
make available, now that you have like an environment that's full of love?
Yeah, it's great joy. It's every day is looking forward to what
Oh,
comes.
oh.
Deep breaths, right? Connecting right down to the bottom. Okay, this is something more. Yes, we can have more conversations about it and work through it.
And
Yeah,
that's and that's what you're working with people. Like, that's what you are like with people. Like it's like like people can come to you and they know that they will be heard and that you'll be it almost sounds like, yeah, come to me and I'll be your partner. Let's work through this. You're not alone. Is that kind of like the space that, this work has made available for you?
oh, I like how you said that. Yes, being of service to people, and yeah, totally come to me and I can listen, and that's it. Wow, yeah, thank you.
So wonderful. And so what are you committed to in spirituality? Like this is like this journey is never ending. So what are you committed to in terms of like what's next for you or maybe in the development of your in the Sukyamari practice?
And it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Sukyo
Super.
Mahikari. Awesome. I just actually got invited to do the third level of training. My name went into a lottery that goes across the world to be able to do this training. Only so many people can go, and it'll be held in December. And I felt very like I've waited for this for so long, but I was told that you can't rush this process. You have to be able to be of so much service before God really realizes that you're ready. You're ready to be trained in a whole another level of spirituality, and He will decide, not you, right?
Hmm.
So that's my next step is to take on being grateful and humble that my name is going in for that training in Japan, and being able to guide as many people as I can to the openness of oneness, that there is a God, that there is an, a love that is beyond my even explaining it. When I go to the center, I feel that that's the next thing. I'm going more often to be able to give light and receive the light and be able to plan activities for our whole North American, well, not just North America, but that's my focus, is helping as many people in North America.
Hmm.
Specifically Canada right now, Edmonton's going to be developing a new center, and I'm there assisting as much as I can and being of service so that that light can spread around as far as it's supposed to anybody that is open to the spirituality of the Sukyo Mahikari.
Wow, what a wonderful opportunity. And it's no accident that you won the lottery.
So my name's going in, Jolene, but I pray that, and I vibrate that I can do as much as I can to see if that God knows if I'm ready or not. You
Mhm.
know, I'll do as much as I can. That's whether I get pulled out of the hat of everybody, out of thousands and thousands of people, that'll be a miracle, a blessing,
Mm,
and
mm, mhm.
I'll celebrate, unbelievably celebrate. It's scary on one hand, but I know that I'll never turn back and go where I was before. I'm so thankful that I've found that that love inside of me that I always knew existed and exists in other people. And to have that vibration, that highest vibration of love, I'll never go back to the
Mm,
beginning of where I was ever.
yeah, wow. I
It's
love
to
it.
help, yeah, to help others, possibly pull them from that level that maybe that I had. I had some really tragic event happen to me at the age of 30, and that's the pivot point was. And I made prayers to God that I was so apologetic to God. I said, please use me as much as you can to help me. I made a big mistake and I went down the wrong path, and
Mm,
I never want to go down that path ever again. And so that was the turning point. So when I say I'd never go back, I totally understand where I was at that time, but I'm really pleased that I'm not there anymore, and to
yeah,
help
yeah.
others with that.
And oftentimes when we have like those challenges, or those, where we've hit rock bottom, but it also offers some compassion because we know what it feels like to be there. And it's not compared, especially compared to where you are now, it's night and day. And of course you want to share that. Of course you want to share that with as many people as you can. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
you're welcome. And Charlene, what would you like to be acknowledged for in doing this work, in being on the spiritual path and going deep within the teachings?
Nice. I would like to be acknowledged for being brave, courageous. When times got rough, I didn't turn away from God. I
Mm,
kept following his guidance, listening to his messages, not being turned away from my journey through family members that that never maybe will experience what I've experienced, that wanted to knock me down as a human being, that I was so dedicated to this path. That's that's what I want to be acknowledged for, that I'm on this journey here on earth at this time, and I am going to do my very, very best effort to why I was allowed to be here, because that's the mystery.
mm,
That's the mystery for all of us to understand, that we're allowed to be here
mm,
at this time. And this is a miracle. This is a gift. And I truly believe that out of all the ancestors that were here before us, they chose each and every one of us to help elevate humankind and
mm.
bring us all back to oneness. That's a huge miracle for me, to be accepted from the ancestors, to be here for them.
Wow. Well, Charlene, I acknowledge you for your dedication and your extreme humility and gratitude and acknowledgement of the gift that you have been given and using your gifts and this one chance that you have here right now to make a difference for yourself and with people and to spread joy and love.
I got that. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Charlene, thank you so much for this interview. Oh, I feel you've just transmitted so much love and energy to me right now through this miracle of Zoom. Like I feel connected with you. I feel elevated by you. And thank you for sharing your journey, your love, the thing that is most special to you. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And thank you for allowing me to spend this time with you with this beautiful um, project, to be allowed to share what's been bubbling up in my heart for years, to be able to share. Thank you yourself for listening as so intently that you did, and capturing how I feel about my spirituality. Julie.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure, deep pleasure. And see how fun this is?